Welcome back, everyone, to Velcha and Rule. It is a big week for House Democrats leading the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Today, a key player in the unfolding Ukraine story is testifying under subpoena on Capitol Hill. Fiona Hill is President Trump's former top aide on Russia and Europe. In fact, on Thursday, European Union Ambassador Gordon Sondland is also expected to testify, defying a State Department directive not to appear on Capitol Hill. But first, let's break down who is Fiona Hill and why she is important in this testimony. Hill is President Trump's former top aide on Russia and Europe. The 53-year-old foreign affairs expert resigned from the Trump administration just days before President Trump's July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Now, Hill is expected to face some tough questions from House Democrats as part of their impeachment inquiry into President Trump. A former senior White House official tells NBC News that Hill's appearance today has stoked fear among people close to the president, given her role overseeing Russia and Ukraine policy throughout her time working for the Trump administration. NBC News also confirms Hill plans to testify that Giuliani and EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland circumvented the National Security Council and the normal White House process to pursue a shadow policy on Ukraine. NPR reports Hill is also expected to raise concerns over the ouster of former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, who testified before Congress for nearly 9 hours on Friday. Joining me now on Capitol Hill, MSNBC's Garrett Haake and Reuters White House correspondent Jeff Mason. Garrett, let me begin with you, if I may, because we're learning a little bit more about what Fiona Hill is expected to say. And more importantly, what lawmakers want to learn from her. What are you learning?
Well, Hill can provide so much crucial context to the lawmakers. Now, as you pointed out, she had already left the White House by the time of that crucial phone call, the phone call that really started this whole impeachment inquiry. But she's critical in explaining the lead up. She can talk about the decision to withhold aid from Ukraine. She can talk about the work that Giuliani and his associates were doing in Ukraine leading up to this time. And she can talk about the conversations that may or may not have reached the president about what Gordon Sondland, Kurt Volker, some of the other players in this drama were all doing behind the scenes in the lead up to that crucial phone call. What she may not be able to describe, and she has been in this secure room a few floors beneath where I'm standing now for the last several hours, so we don't have the definitive answer on this. What she may not give Democrats what they want is specifics about her conversations with President Trump. I think that's one of the things that the White House was worried about, the level of detail that she might provide in that arena. But anything she can do to lay the groundwork to give, I think, Democratic investigators a sense of the president's thinking, the political and policy framework leading up to that phone call will all be useful to Democrats.
Jeff, there's been some reports that the White House is actually concerned over Fiona Hill's testimony today. What are you hearing today in regards to that? Why might they be concerned with her testimony in all of this?
Well, I think one piece to that is, just a week ago or at one point last week, the White House sent that letter that we all reported on to Nancy Pelosi from the White House counsel's office, basically outlining their strategy for dealing with the impeachment inquiry, which was not to cooperate. And since then, you've had the former Ukraine ambassador to Ukraine on Friday testifying. You have Fiona Hill testifying today, and you have the EU ambassador testifying later this week. So basically, that strategy is crumbling. And I think that perhaps is creating some concern here that their overall plan of not having people release information via testimony and cooperating with Democrats on this probe is simply not standing up.
Garrett, NBC News is confirming that Sondland will testify that he did not know why the U.S. military assistance to Ukraine was held up, nor who ordered it, and that he relied on the president's, quote, good faith when he sent that no quid pro quo text message. What else do you expect to hear from him on Thursday? And why does he say, why would him just simply saying that be problematic for the president, saying that he took the president's good faith word that there was no quid pro quo here?
Right. Well, it suggests that he's not interested in defending the president in his deposition, essentially say, look, I asked the president, but whatever he said, that's on him. And that's not exactly the full-throated defense of the president that you might expect from someone who was a major donor to the president's inaugural committee and was seen as closer to the president than a lot of the other players in this drama. Now, remember, Sondland is the ambassador, I should say, to the European Union, of which Ukraine is not a member. His role in all of this alone has been suspect for quite some time. Democrats are going to want to know from him why he inserted himself into the Ukraine portfolio in the first place. And again, he's someone who could be a crucial bridge between the president, the possible withholding of aid, the quid pro quo that Democrats believe exists, and Giuliani and his associates, who are essentially the people executing, again, what Democrats believe is this shadow foreign policy. He is the confirmed administration official in a position that perhaps he should not have been, who all of a sudden is coming back to testify after, as you pointed out, that letter which was supposed to block all of these current officials from coming and showing up. So just the fact that he'll be setting foot on Capitol Hill on Friday alone is noteworthy. On Thursday is noteworthy. It's a lot of depositions to keep track of.
Yeah, I was going to say we're losing track of it here as well. Jeff, Garrett brought up Rudy Giuliani. He's expected, as we've been talking about, to, at least according to the New York Times is reporting over the weekend, be somewhat under pressure given the fact that he is being investigated by federal prosecutors in Manhattan for work he did in Ukraine. Tell us how that relates to what Fiona Hill is expected to say about Giuliani today.
Well, number one, Giuliani is at the center of all of this because he was on an assignment, apparently from the President of the United States, to go to Ukraine, to speak to people in Ukraine, to dig up dirt on Joe Biden, and to undermine, at that time, the ambassador who was still in office, who testified on Friday. So he's in the middle of all of this, and anything that Fiona Hill can say about that, or light that she can shed about that, in terms of how he did that, how he circumvented the foreign policy process that would normally be run by the NEC and the State Department, will be illuminating to the group of people in Congress who are looking into impeachment proceedings and looking into his role and the way that he did that and the way that he coordinated with the President of the United States.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.